going to talk about something else, but I was thinking as I was dropping my grandson off to preschool, I was thinking about a conversation I had on You Heard Me First Times Hangout because the young lady came in kind of late in the hangout and she asked me a serious question. It's something that human beings struggle with all the time. She asked me, how does she know when a man actually loves her? And I gave her the answer that I could about signs and what you should look for as an indicator. But the actual right answer is you don't. You can't. When you're in it, you can't know that that person loves you. The thing is, you hope that that person loves you. And this goes for male and female because it's something that I struggled with. And sometimes I still struggle with a bit. You never know if that person really loves you while you're involved with them. You only know if that person loves you after you're separated from them for a good bit of time. When you're not in the throes of a relationship or even the power struggle of a relationship that you have to go through, that give and take that you have to have just to get along, just to come together, it's easier to know if a person cares for you or is caring towards you by their actions, but you can't know if they love you by their actions until you can actually get out of the situation and reflect back upon it. I think that's why a lot of people go back and look at their ex or go back to their ex for validation, because the realization that that person loves you is apparent over time. You look back and you realize, oh, well, yeah, they didn't have to do that. Or yes, they did do things for me, or they were there for me. But at the time, you can't. It's very difficult. It's something that I noticed. I never really know that a woman loves me, or my past exes have loved me until 5 years later, because they still show that they care and still show that they're interested where they don't have to. And that's the whole thing about love. Love as we understand it. You do things for people in a relationship because you have to get your needs met. And something I heard Carolyn May say a lot way back then, because it's something that I had to figure out back when my children were very small, about whether I loved them or not. Strange to say that sometimes you struggle with even loving your children. And Carolyn May said something very significant. She says, true love is not dependent on an outcome. True love is not dependent on whether you're going to get something back. It's not to say that your actions are unconditional, but true love is not dependent on an outcome. Now, what you do for them or do with them is transactional. All things in human interaction is transactional. You can't be a doormat, no matter whether you love them or not, or they love you or not. They can't be a doormat. And if you love them, you don't want them to be a doormat. That's transactional. What you do for them and what they do for you has to be balanced and reciprocated. Otherwise, that's not love. That's addiction. But whether you love them or not, it's not dependent on an outcome. My children are grown. There's certain things I don't do for them anymore because they're grown people and they need to do for themselves. So I refuse to do things for them. I also demand, now that they're grown, is reciprocation, because two adults, one adult to another, demands reciprocation and respect and balance. But the fact that I love them, truly love them, there's no condition on that. So is there a way to truly tell that somebody loves you while you're in the relationship with them? And the answer is there really isn't. Somebody can love you, and because of who they are, they can still hurt you. And love has nothing to do with them being who they really are. They can feel love for you, be in love with you. And because of who they are and what they're about, they can't show the love that you think you need to see. And that's transactional. And you can't act on love. You have to act on the transaction. You have to act on the doing and not the feeling. And that's the same way with you're in a relationship. You can love that person. Truly love that person with your whole being. But the business side doesn't work. And if the business side doesn't work, then that means that relationship can't work. So you have to take that love or that pain that you love them with you and heal that, because you know that the relationship cannot work. Love and marriage does not always go together like a horse and carriage, and you can't have one without the other. Relationships are a business side of love. Love doesn't mean that you can have a relationship with that person, and love has to be put in its place. If you can get both, that's great. A lot of times you can't get both. In life, business is always first. The relationship, the business side of the relationship is always first. Because if you have the love, that deep love, without the business side, it's destructive. You can have a positive relationship with the business side and be positive even without love. Hopefully the person will like you enough to keep you around and to do for you. Love is a feeling that can falter. Duty and honor and integrity doesn't depend on love or an emotion. It is internal, and it is something that's unwavering. And I say that enough people focus too much on the love and not the duty, the honor, and the integrity, which is why I think a lot of relationships are failing nowadays. Like my neighbor says, he tickles me. He said, love is a funny feeling between two strangers. And I have to believe him on that, because in a sense, he's accurate. Love is for fools sometimes. If you don't take care of the business side, you don't take care of the transactional side of the relationship, then that love that you feel for that person or that person feels for you is foolish. It's important as a feeling, but it's foolish. But that's my short note. This is not what I had planned, but it's a thought I had on my mind. I thought I would get it out for you guys while it was fresh in my mind. There's other things coming today, so look out for it. But for right now, this is BGS out.